good to see ya. If you're new here, my name is Melissa, and I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids, one of whom has really bad allergies, and so the majority of the content on my channel has to do with either homeschool life, allergy life, or just mom life in general. So if you like that kind of content, please click that subscribe button, and I hope you'll stick around. So today, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna just have a chat about this. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Mess. This mess that we're all of us, no matter where you are in the world, it seems, we're all dealing with right now. So this is just going to be an honest chit chat with me about how we're doing and what we're doing to help cope with the way our world has seemingly been turned upside down. So pull up a chair, get your favorite drink, cup of coffee, cup of tea. I don't know, maybe what time are you watching this? Glass of wine. It's too early for me to have wine, but anyway, whatever your favorite drink is, grab it, pull up a chair, let's chat. Okay, so I'm just going to be honest with y'all, and I'm going to say right up front, we have hit a wall. We have hit a wall. Like, this has been a week. It has been a week. So I'm filming this on Thursday, and you'll see it tomorrow, which is Friday. And normally I film my videos not the day before I intend to post them, but this has just been a week. And I feel like we were doing pretty well until this week. And this is when I think we've all started to reach our limits with being stuck at the house now. I don't know where you are, what your official rules are about staying home or going out and all of that. I know every state tends to be a little bit different. We have chosen to self-quarantine since the very beginning of this. So the kids and I have not been anywhere. My husband is considered an essential worker. So he is still going to work as usual, although it doesn't really feel as usual because there's just not as much traffic, there's not as many people out. He owns a remodeling and repair business, so he's not generally seeing a lot of people anyway because he's usually at people's homes. We do mostly residential remodeling and repair. Every now and then we do some commercial stuff, but we're definitely not doing commercial stuff right now because most everything's closed. That's a really small percentage of our customers anyway that are commercial. Most of what we do is residential, so he doesn't generally see a lot of people anyway other than his crew, because he's usually at somebody's house, and a lot of times before all this happened, he would be there by himself. He is a very trustworthy guy, and people automatically trust him, and with good reason. And so a lot of times clients will give him a key to their house, or if he's working on the exterior of somebody's house, obviously he doesn't need a key. So before all this started, a lot of times nobody would even be at the house where he's working. Now, of course, almost everybody is home all the time. So that's changed what his job looks like a little bit, because he does have homeowners home pretty much on every job he goes on now, which he did some before, but now it's the majority. I think all of his jobs thus far, the homeowner has been home, and so that changes things. It's just different. It's not bad or good or bad, really. It's just different from the usual. But he is at least getting to leave the house, which I think, even though it's kind of still the daily grind, I think in a way that's easier than the rest of us who are trapped in this house together all day, every day. Now, we do have a beautiful backyard with a pool. The weather has been lovely here, although it's been hot. We have a nice walkable neighborhood with sidewalks, and so the kids can go ride bikes, they can go rollerblade, we can take neighborhood walks, things like that. So it's not like we're trapped inside the house all the time, but still, there are only so many times you can walk in a circle around your neighborhood before you feel like, okay, we walked in 47 circles now. So we're getting a little struggling with that. How have y'all been doing? Have y'all been spending time? I know not everywhere is as warm and nice as it is here. So some places the weather might not be warm enough for you to even go outside, or if you're having a lot of rain or something, you can't go outside. I'm just thanking God that we've had good weather, because I guarantee you we'd be in worse shape if we had been like literally stuck inside the house this whole time. We are starting to struggle. School for us, we're homeschoolers anyway, but this has drastically changed our schooling too. And especially that first week, school got really wonky. Like we were just having, all of us, me included, when they first canceled public schools here, it was like you knew, and the kids knew that all the other kids weren't in school. So like, why do we have to be in school? And so that first week was a little weird with school, and we didn't quite get things done like we usually did, and kind of all felt off kilter. And then we kind of got back in the swing of things. Obviously our co-op classes have been canceled, so we don't have that anymore. But all of our schooling that we did at home anyway, all of that is still the same. So thankfully that hasn't changed too much, but all of our extracurriculars are gone, of course. So we have none of that anymore. So we literally have nowhere to be. For the first 2 weeks, Olivia was still able to have her horseback riding lesson, because we were not under any kind of state order at that time. It was just a request to please self-quarantine if you can. And since she takes horseback riding lessons out in the country at a barn on 53 acres, we all felt like that was still a safe activity to do. So the first 2 weeks we did still have that, but now in our state, the state order closed down even horseback riding lessons and things like that. So that's gone away now too. So now we're just 100% in the house, nowhere to go out. Some of the things we've been doing to stay sane. First of all, have you heard of diamond painting? Diamond painting. Let me show you. Look how it sparkles like diamonds. Okay, so basically what this is, if you've ever cross-stitched, I loved cross-stitching when I was a kid, and it's similar to cross-stitch. I should have taken a photo or something so I could have shown you of this before I started. But it looks like a cross-stitch. You have these, let's see, here's the key. You have these symbols like on a cross stitch, and it tells you what color. So on a cross stitch, if you had this, you do this color thread and you make a cross in that spot. Well, this is little tiny diamonds. See all the individual ones? And so basically you have this little wand that helps you pick up these little individual diamonds or gems or whatever. They're really plastic, but they look really pretty. Anyway, and you literally, one by one, can you see them? Place all of those individual, and it takes forever. It takes for absolutely ever. But I enjoyed it, and Olivia enjoyed it. We sort of took turns working on it. She liked that when she picked that out, so we're gonna frame it now and hang it in her room, I think. But anyway, so crafting. We've been crafting a little bit. The diamond painting, like halfway through, we were both like, oh my gosh, we're never doing another one of these again. And now that we've gotten through, we both want to order another one. So, I mean, they do take forever, and like for us, we would like sit down and work on it for a couple hours, and then we'd have to be done for a few days. and then, you know, a few days later, get it back out and work on it for a couple hours and then just need a break. So anyway, if you like crafting, you can order these on Amazon. There's like a million different designs and things you can choose from, and they're not overly expensive, and we've enjoyed it. So we've been crafting, the kids have been coloring pictures a lot, making paper airplanes, things like that. Then one other thing we're doing this week that if you're seeing this video the day I posted or the next day, you could still have time to do too if you wanted to. We did this for St. Patrick's Day, and now we're doing an Easter version, and I'll just pick up the camera and show you, I guess. So you can see right there we have an Easter egg in the window. And so what we did was the kids all colored an Easter egg, and then we taped them up in the window so that you can see them from the sidewalk outside our yard. And a bunch of our neighbors are also participating. And so this week for Easter, we can have an Easter egg hunt, and we can walk around the neighborhood and see how many Easter eggs we can count in the windows of the houses of our neighbors. So it was a big hit when we did it with shamrocks for St. Patrick's Day. And so now the neighborhood is doing Easter eggs to do an Easter egg hunt with the same method, the same way. And so we're excited about that. I think we haven't actually hunted the eggs yet. We've just gotten ours up in the window. So we may, probably tomorrow, we'll go on a hunt, and then we may hunt again on Easter Day to see if anybody's added any. And anyway, we just count them as we go, and it gets you outside, it gets you walking, gets you moving, and plus the kids loved it. Actually, David and I loved it too, because we didn't know where the eggs were either. It was a fun little family activity. So we're excited to do the Easter egg hunt again. We have been doing some cooking, which is fun. I mentioned that we're an allergy family, so Olivia and I have been doing some test kitchens type stuff, trying to figure out some new fun allergen-free recipes. We are an allergen-free home. We don't eat any of Ford's allergies in the home, with the exception of like a couple things every now and again, but for the most part, the majority of our meals are completely allergen-free. So I'm always looking to find new recipes and figure out new things to make that are tasty and safe for Ford too. So we've been doing that. My mom ordered us a ping pong table, and it came today, and we haven't set it up yet, but we're about to. So I'll show you that nonsense in a minute. I'm going to film some of that, and I'll put it at the end of this video, and I'll tell you about the ping pong table. So that should be interesting. Leave it to my mom to think of that. What a great idea. So we're getting a ping pong table. So hopefully we'll get that set up here in a few minutes. And then last night, y'all, my neighbors were awesome. And so a couple of us had this idea, and we ended up having a great turnout. So we had a social distancing happy hour in my front yard last night. And here we are. I'll show you a picture. And so everybody brought their own beverage and brought their own chair, or some people just sat in the grass. We made sure we were 6 feet apart, and we got to socialize, and it was so wonderful to see friends and to talk to friends and to feel like you're not the only people in the world. So that was fun. And tonight, some friends of mine who don't live in the neighborhood, we did this last week, and so we're doing it again tonight. We're having a virtual happy hour using Zoom, and we did this last week, and we had so much fun, and several people missed it, and they were jealous and sad that they missed it, so they were like, we gotta do it again. So we're having a virtual happy hour tonight as well, and so some of us, several friends and I are gonna pop on Zoom and just be able to chat and talk and not feel like we're so isolated. but of course still be following all the guidelines and the rules that have been put in place for people's safety. So we got that going on. And then another thing I want to really encourage you. So if you've seen any of my other content, you probably know that I'm a musician and an actor. And both of those things are very important to me. And the current circumstances that we're in have really, really, really hit musicians and performers and creatives very hard, very hard. It has been devastating for them financially because, all this has been shut down. So a lot of my musician friends that are full-time gigging musicians have been super creative in finding ways to perform virtually, and they're having live events on Facebook and live events on Instagram and virtual tip jars where you can just turn their music on and enjoy some live music in your very own home. And if you're able, you can tip to help them through this tough time. And I know times are tough for a lot of people, and I know musicians are not the only ones that have lost their income. I know that other people have too. Our income has not gone completely away, but our income has diminished a great deal because of this too. So I understand if you can't donate, I understand, but they still would love that number of how many people are watching. They would still love that number to be high. So I encourage you, if you know any musicians personally that you can support in that way, do that. And if you don't, just get on Facebook, y'all, and find them. Or there's tons of them. So tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, one of my best friends is a piano man, for lack of a better word. That's what everybody calls him. His name is Scott Morlock, and he is one of the most brilliantly talented musicians you'll ever see in your life. And he is having his first virtual event tomorrow night. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, those are kind of some of the things that we're doing to sort of help us get through this tough time. We've also been watching some classic movies. If you don't have Disney Plus, get it, because aside from all the great Disney stuff, like the great, like Little Mermaid and Frozen and Onward and all the new stuff, y'all, it's all these classic awesome movies that my kids are like, what's that? And I'm making them watch a movie a day, and it's been so fun for us to go back and watch some of our childhood classic movies, and even older ones like Herbie movies, and like the Apple Dumpling Gang, and just all kinds of cool stuff to introduce your kids to that they've probably never seen. My kids have loved everything we've watched so far. Yesterday, we haven't watched anything today, but yesterday we watched Pocahontas. It was just funny to me that they had literally never seen the movie Pocahontas. So anyway, that's been something we've been doing too. We've tried not to spend too much time on screens, but we are trying to play catch up on some of those old classic movies that I feel like all our kids should see. But anyway, if you have any great ideas about how you're passing the time with your children or with your spouse or just by yourself, let me know. I have read 3 books so far. I'm an avid reader and I'm a speed reader, so I read pretty quickly, which is maybe not a great thing, but I just do. I read quickly. And so I go through books fast, but I love to read. And right now I just finished another book, so I need a good book suggestion. So if you have a great book suggestion for me, I love fiction, I love nonfiction, that I love murder mysteries. Lisa Gardner is my favorite author. There's not too much genre-wise that I don't like. So I'd love some book recommendations, because that's another thing we've been doing. We've been reading a lot, which has been nice. In the normal hustle and bustle of our life, I don't get a lot of time to read. So it has been nice for me to be able to read so many books that I wouldn't normally get to read just because of time constraints that now obviously I don't have. So it's enabling me to read more books. So anyway, if you have a book suggestion, hit me up with that in the comments. I'd really love a good book suggestion or any other ideas. What are you doing to keep your family sane during this time? I would love to know. Okay guys, well, that's a little bit about how we're doing. Not so well, but we're doing the best we can. You knew Zazie would have to make an appearance, right? Well, not an appearance, but sound the alarm. He's so loud. Anyway, so I hope maybe I sparked your imagination with an idea that might give you and your kids or your spouse or just yourself something new to try while you're at home trying to get through this crisis. See you next time.